love beer. I can't tell you why. It's just it's nothing like that first sip. Just everything's right with the world.
It's a nice way to end a day. I think so, and that's not to say that every day ends with beer, but
I think beer is delicious because it tastes like bread, and I love bread.
Beer originated in Mesopotamia. I don't know if you know of that, but in Babylonia.
beer is a social thing. You sit down to have a beer with somebody, you're going to chat, you're going to open up, and you're going to talk.
It's a fun recreational activity. I think it's really a part of American culture.
I can associate more with somebody who can enjoy a beer, has a few beers.
I drink from the waters of history and the spring of, of beer, I guess, or reverse that somehow.
You know, think of like a great movie. Compare RoboCop to like The Seven Samurai or something like that, like this classic movie. And what are the differences? Well, the movie's more layered, the acting's better, there's better music, the director had a clearer picture of what he wanted to do. He wasn't just trying to entertain. It's the same thing with beer, you know, you're not just necessarily trying to make a good drink. I think there's some brewers who think that what they're doing is kind of like art.
Okay, so what's the proportion of this stuff to water?
I don't know. It says it's according to the health department. Made to ppm concentration recommended.
I wonder if we can call Modern Brewer and find out.
I'm Susan Hunziker, and I have cooked for a long, long time, and I have read things about beer.
Well, I remember watching one of those films where he had a large plastic tub, and he was immersing things in it. So I have a fairly gigantic bathtub that we could immerse things in.
When I've read the kind of what's involved in making beer, I thought this can't be that tough. It's like cooking.
Hello, sorry I'm late. It's okay.
I'm Rebecca Yadigar, and I'm just always struck by the unfortunate culture of the frat boy and the just excessive beer drinking.
This is the stuff that sterilizes everything, and it's 1 tablespoon of this stuff to 5 gallons of this stuff of water.
And we just leave this in?
My goal is to appreciate it more, and then hopefully learn how to taste it more and sort of develop that sophisticated taste that you're supposed to have in order to appreciate it. And then if I like beer, then oh my God, like I'm gonna like going out for beer, and then just everything will be completely different. So, and I hope I'm not annoying you guys with my bad attitude towards beer.
I like me mugs filled to the brim, and I'll drink all you care to bring. Oh, Will, thou art my darling, thou art my joy, both night and morn.
You're talking to me.
Oh, hello.
I am learning, I think I'm going to learn how to make beer.
Okay.
And you're a brewer. Can you tell me how would I make beer?
How would you make beer?
How do I go about it?
It's remarkably easy to mess up.
You should not have too high expectation at first.
Go for it. I would say be experimental, try different things. Don't be afraid of failure.
Beer bottles can explode, of course. I've blown a few of them up myself.
I guess when you're doing anything and chemicals are involved, you could always have a risk for some sort of explosion, although I've never had any sort of home brewing explosions, thankfully.
The main thing is in sanitation, cleaning and sanitation.
Not keeping it clean enough where you get it infected by bacteria.
The beer is good. The beer is really good. I've learned that there's such a thing as fresh beer, which I never really had before. I never had the sense of it, and it's you can really taste it. And maybe I may never drink bottled beer again because of all this incredibly good draft, but then that's not fair to the bottlers, so I should probably try some of their stuff. But I might not be sober enough by the time we get to that side of the room.
So here's a health to the company and one to my lass. We'll drink and be merry all out of one glass. We'll drink and be merry.
It's delayed and then it'll come in like, be like it blows away.
Yeah, really horrible winter.
Rebecca, why do you dislike beer so much?
Why do I dislike beer? I don't dislike beer. I was thinking, I think there's something about the symbolism of it that's just sort of culture shock for me. I feel like so many important decisions in this country are made based on the symbolism of beer. Like George Bush was elected because W was elected because he's someone you want to have a beer with. And that sort of idea formed, it changed the entire world. And so, stuff like that.
Like, is there like just a kit? Like, you just take it and open up all the jars and put everything in there, or
more or less, yeah.
Oh, good. So we don't have. So
we've got boxes over here of
okay.
Basic ale recipes.
So which one would give me the most, like, say, like Bass Ale, or
English Pale Ale.
English Pale Ale. Okay.
But we want to make our own thing. We don't want to copy any brand.
Well, this is my first time making beer, so my inclination would be to take the kit and just try it and to have the success on it, because there's so many things that can go wrong.
But this is probably for people who make a lot.
This is this would probably be like if you knew what you were doing.
Right, which is unfortunate.
It's like you don't really want to be patenting yourself.
I'm like really torn about whether to buy the kit or whether to get a recipe. Because like when I cook, I don't like to get the prepackaged stuff unless I'm just starving and I'm in a really big rush.
Well, guess what? The meter's not running, so my free professional advice to you is go wild.
Yeah, yeah. So we're doing it with a partner, and she wants to really be safe with it. So I don't know. I have to convince her, I guess. Do we have one of these paddles?
I don't know.
Pick a medium-level beer, talk to your partner about what flavors you like, and then I would do that. You're going to feel better when you make it.
I think I would. Part of my problem is that I don't really know what I like. Like I still don't appreciate beer. So
you're on the edge.
Bad news for
no,
you,
no, it isn't. You're on the edge of a brand new adventure.
Oh, okay. It would be really fun to exercise some creativity after this, beyond
Next
this.
time.
Next time? Well, maybe we can take his recommendation because he knows what he's doing. We're just not capable right now.
There's so much other stuff to worry about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's a delicate process.
Well, I'm just waiting. I like beer that tastes like beer.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to do American Amber. That's what we're doing.
You all set?
Yes, we are. Thank you. Okay. So we go home and see. Go boldly forth and see what happens. Okay, somebody's got to hold this thing because they want to drop it.
So your goal.
My goal is
At the end of all this
it's for you guys to get me really drunk on beer.
And then the boil starts, and we boil for, how long is the friggin' boil? Okay.
Stir it so it says just as it returns to a gentle rolling boil. That's all I guess it means. And
Right. Then how long?
Then you put the
how long does it boil?
bittering hops in, and
Okay,
then you boil for 55 minutes.
These are the stupidest direct. I spent my entire life, my entire career in technical documentation, and these are the worst directions.
It's like saying, here,
I'm gonna
to
write
do the hops, go to the schedule.
I know,
so
it's like,
so we add the.
Should we be wearing gloves?
No, because that will make a difference.
Right.
Really.
So,
but like if you're using the spoon, like
Right.
if it's going into like here, like you really cannot like yeah.
You have to do it like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and we have to and we have to do it. We have to re-sterilize the inside of this thing too, right?
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
And it is 1:14, so it's going to sit here for 20 minutes.
How much of that is? Do you feel like we're almost done? Is that almost empty?
It feels heavy still.
Okay, I'm just curious. It's kind of like molasses.
Yeah.
Okay, put that on the floor and then put the pot on top of it.
But this then, the water is going to have a hard time still because it has to, just like before, then it would have to travel down and then travel back up and
Right,
down
well,
again.
that's, well, we'll worry that. Let's just do this now because it's not going to get in because of having to go uphill, right? Looks like coffee, doesn't it?
You okay?
Or tea. Sure doesn't smell like it, though.
Yeah, it doesn't give you much.
Well, this is where it really helps to be a guy, I think.
There you go.
Ooh,
Yeah,
nice.
that's
Yeah.
it. You got it going. You got a rhythm going now.
Yeah.
So do I shove this in to where it rests? It screws in?
No, just
Just shove, okay.
I think.
Just on top of it?
I think. Does that seem right?
No, it doesn't.
I suspect this goes this way.
Upside down.
But where does it?
No.
No, no, it doesn't.
Can I see the bottom of that?
Sure. I mean, no, it
I
doesn't.
remember when you handed it to me and I took
No,
it
it definitely
apart,
goes in there.
Yeah, that makes sense. So it's like, what is this for? Is what doesn't make sense.
So now just put that part on the top.
And just put it like
put it
that?
down.
Just like that?
Push it down.
That's it?
That's it.
That seems too simple.
Should we press it down?
No, it just
it
floats.
Yeah.
I think the seal with the water is supposed to form the airlock, and if it
Ah.
So we'll just cover it up.
Looks like a little shrine, you know.
Yeah. Look at that, isn't that perfect? Like maybe I have a little beer belly, you know. So here, I'll have to just tie that, but God, that's just absolutely perfect. Who knew? It just needs a little like neck scarf. But we can arrange that. There we are. We're done.
Okay, we did it.
How do you guys feel?
I'm interested in this. I feel like what I've known about cooking has actually been surprisingly helpful in this. I like how it smells. I'm interested a lot in how we've been so concerned about how everything is sterilized and how we're gonna make everything clean, and yet we know it isn't totally perfect. So we're like, how much of a difference does that make? That's something I'm interested in, and I just hope it isn't flat. Hard to tell. I'm ready for something else. I'm ready to move on to watching television. I have a headache. It just takes so much time.
Lift up your glasses in chorus with mine. Come drink and be merry. From grief we'll refrain. For we know not when we will all meet again.
So the beer we're making is a Rogan beer, which is, Rogan is German for rye. And so, oops, and this is actually my first time, and no big deal, we'll pick that up later. My first time actually working with rye, but I love rye bread. And so having the opportunity to make something, with the rye is kind of cool, and we'll see how that works.
Hello!
Hi, good to see you. Good to see you.
Welcome, come on in. The beer is chilling.
In August of 2006, I brewed my first beer. It was an American Amber. So when you were talking about brewing an amber yourselves, I was thinking about, well, that's where I started. It's 175 degrees, so it should be fairly steamy. It's going to cool down, though, because it's hitting the cooler, and then we'll dump in the grain, and that will cool it down even more.
The first time I thought about brewing professionally was during college. I was in the Boston Public Library, read a book about home brewing when I should have been, I think, finishing up a final paper. I remember the person I was supposed to be studying with saying, "You just have a pile of beer books." And I think it was that point that I decided should all fail, I want to make beer, which is ridiculous because it should have been my top priority.
It's a lot of fun, and it gives me a way to forget about what I do at work. So I'm in sales, I sell software. Brewing is about as far away from selling software as you could get, right? I deal with totally different issues, and it requires concentration, attention, and so I'm not thinking about work when I'm brewing.
What's different about commercially versus home brewing?
Well, you have a whole set of targets and things that you need to hit, like consistency, shelf stability. You know,
Yeah,
these
that's
things
probably
that
a
you
big one, yeah.
really don't
Boring
worry
stuff.
about too much when you're home brewing.
Yeah, boring.
If you'll just stir that so that it mixes, we don't want any lumps, which is the key thing.
We took something like this much stuff in a bag.
Yeah.
That we emptied into a like a cheesecloth type of bag.
What you were doing with those grains that you were steeping was really just extracting some flavors and some color. So 10 minutes in water, it's just like, you know, putting tea in water, right?
Oh, so it was
And
like a tea bag.
yeah.
What we were doing.
Beer is really slow food, and if you're making it using the whole process, you know, from start to finish of all grain and the whole thing, I feel like I'm, you know, creating something, and I have control over all of the moving parts in the process that way.
Thought it usually went up. Nope, nope. If it doesn't go, it doesn't go. So yeah, yeah, the way you had it is great. Yep, great.
Do you brew something that you've never done before? Do you like try it out in your kitchen just to see how it goes? You just go for it.
No.
Big time. Big time.
I don't think trying out in my kitchen would help me to recreate this. It would do something completely completely different. That would also be good in its own way, but I don't think it would be it would predict, because the geometry here is different, the level of control here is much more than at home, and you can make a fine beer at home, but it's not going to tell you how things are going to go on here.
Oh, we're there. We're done. I would say 75 degrees, wouldn't you? So I entered the Patriot homebrew competition a couple times. Right? The stout that I brewed for the 2008 competition had a couple of flaws with it, although it tasted great. So I said, okay, let me go back to the drawing board. And so I spent some time reading up on what was important in an oatmeal stout. So I read what Jamil Zainasheff had to say. I read some other sources, and tried to understand, you know, what I could do to improve it. And so I answered that. And so then after they did the judging, they called me and said, hey, you won. And that was pretty amazing. You know, you get your beer brewed by Sam Adams, and it goes to Gillette Stadium, and thousands and thousands of people are going to drink that beer.
I'm just taking a sample of the wort that we made this morning, and I'm going to take a gravity of it. So, looks pretty good. It's a great color, by the way.
I get asked this question a lot, you know, at tastings, like, oh, do you do the artwork and Dan makes the beers? Like, people would love there to be a really nice line. And you know, I always say, you know, at the end of the day, Dan is the brewer. He's the one who really understands the raw materials. You know, when we formulate a beer, we formulate it by drinking a lot, by drawing on our experiences together, by talking about just crazy influences that we both love and share. But at the end of the day, Dan is the brewer, and he translates all of those ideas into malted barley and hops.
I'm going to pour you some unfiltered Jack Dore. Normally we don't filter it, but it's gotten really yeasty lately, so we are. So we're only filtering a portion of it, and we're doing a very light filtration. So
we had this crazy experience.
So we were stuck in Amsterdam.
We were stuck in Amsterdam, and we went out to a bar, and the bar owner said to us, as soon as he found out we were American brewers, he said, a bunch of American beers have just come in, and I don't know what they are. Can you come back and tell me what they're all about? And I walked back to the first keg I saw was Jack Dore. And I thought that was insanely cool to be in Amsterdam and like a cool new beer bar that just opened, and then there was a keg of Jack Dore. That was kind of fun.
Your voice went up at least 1 octave.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a pretty cool experience, and you know, I'll get my 15 minutes of fame, and then you know, life will go back to normal again. But it's neat while it's lasting.
So it's pretty bitter.
It's yeah, it's roasty more than bitter. In fact, because
The roasty maybe I feel afterwards, after the bitter.
yeah, if it tastes sort of a little burnt, that's the roastiness.
And nutty.
That's,
The
and
nutty.
the nutty is from the oats and from some of the malts. There's a
I actually feel like drinking more, which is good. I never
Yeah.
really.
well, there you go.
It's a miracle. Fresh beer it's really a gift. It's a wonderful thing.
You're experiencing a personal thing, right? It's you're drinking the beer for the first time and getting your impression of it, and it's going to be different from you than it would be for other people because you haven't had this before, and so
And now it's almost like grapefruit.
Did I give you the right beer?
I think I'm working really hard, but the data is not necessarily processing very good.
It's you that makes me wear me clothes. It's you that makes me wear old clothes. But since you come so near me, oh, it's up you come and down you go.
Da 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 da. Yep, there it is. There is our beer. There it is. Pass it over there. Oh my God! Even when I was in shape, I couldn't do this. All right. This is all full of the sterilizing stuff. And what I learned the last time, oh, let me get a bigger one. Silly me. Get a bigger, get this guy. Is we're going to empty this thing and thereby sterilize the inside of this and the caps in the bottles. And okay, stop. Oop. That one's a little tricky. Yeah. A little low. We can add more of that. Oh Christ! I don't know how much.
Is that good?
I don't know. Should we just?
No.
Nope.
What?
God, it doesn't feel like it's gonna go past this. And this feels like this is gonna come off. It's just scary. Oh dear.
Did it work?
I don't know. Does that look capped to you?
The hell cap did you use?
Huh?
Yeah, look. They're 2 in 1.
Oh, for God's sake.
See? You can see it.
Oh, yeah.
That was so hard because there was already one shoved up there.
Oh, God. Well, that don't feel so stupid.
No, because you were like, oh, like, it was up.
There we are. We're done. We're done. Good for all of us. Now all we have to do is clean up. Me, I don't. You guys,
Oh, man.
you have to get this out for your friend. But we're done. I mean, here we are. And so 2 weeks we find out whether any of this meant anything. I have a feeling it's going to be flat, but what the hell?
No, I think it'll be all right.
Yeah, it tastes
It'll be
good.
No, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
So here's a health to the company and one to my lass. We'll drink and be merry all out of one glass. We'll drink and be merry, from grief we'll refrain. For we know not when we will all meet again.
Oh God! Did you get one of our beers yet? Could someone get me another cup so we could have them both?
Oh, terrific.
This is our beer. This is our beer. See, there's no such thing as a free, free lunch or a free beer. And so the price of admission is that you have to be in a movie and you have to drink our beer.
It looks well conditioned.
Okay.
So this is an amber, right?
Yes,
Yeah, very
American
little hop
amber.
aroma. What did you use?
We used what was in the kit.
Do you
So you don't know what types of hops.
I would have to go. I would have to go look. They might tell me what it was, but it was just. It was. I think it was like top. It was like hops, malt, yeast. You know, that was the level.
You add your own water, and then you have 4 classic ingredients.
It's very nice. It's a very pleasant beer. It's got a malty flavor. It's kind of light body. It's lightly hopped. It's not over the top or anything like that.
All right. It's very dry, but it's good. Very dry. But there's no problems with it.
Okay.
It's just nice.
That was our first thing.
Yeah, it's clean. It's dry.
I think you did an excellent job making your first beer. I think you should be proud of it.
Are you being too kind?
Am I being too
You
kind?
sound.
This sounds great.
No?
I've never had to review beer on camera before.
Okay.
I like it. That's probably not a very descriptive thing to say.
Crisp taste, very light, nice palate.
Beautiful color.
Yeah, the color is definitely
Very good for
very good.
made
Excellent
beer.
brew.
I've heard carbonation is hard. So
I've heard good things about this carbonation, so.
You've heard good things
Tonight,
about the
yeah.
carbonation.
So beer is one of those things. I mean, it's just life without it is kind of unthinkable, and life is too short to drink bad beer.
How you guys doing?
Just dandy. How about you?
Oh, it's fun.
What a swell party.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a strange party because it's really a movie, and then there's a party in the middle of it. We're trying to make the movie in the middle of the party.
Right. I hated the sterilizing part because I was very overly cautious about making sure everything was sterilized.
I heard you guys were very, very careful about sterilizing everything and making sure that
Yeah, I think
you
we were a little
covered
overboard.
all of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess from experience, I knew that I'm going to come out the other end.
Yeah.
You know, with my wires reconfigured in some way, but I didn't know whether it was going to be fun. You were promising it would be fun. I don't know if it's been fun, but it's very fulfilling.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be fun the next time.
So I don't know. I've had 4 different types of beer tonight, so that's a lot.
I'm just out of here making sure people aren't starving to death. So.
No starving is going on in here.
Yeah, good. Glad to hear it.
Nor thirst.
Shouldn't be. There's more beer. There's more of our beer, more of theirs.
Because we came back from Mr. River.
Yay! To beer. To beer. To beer. To ale.
Good job, everyone.
I'm gonna do another one that says brew
Too delicious brouhaha.
Brouhaha. It's a honest to goodness beer. Okay. Like it's not anything else. It's beer. Right. Am I drunk?
Yeah, I don't know. Kinda. I'm pleased that like the people who actually seem to have like an actual opinion who were in the field didn't think that this was that bad.
Yeah. I was thrilled.
And I don't think they were just being polite about it. I think they were actually being quite honest about it. And it's because it's very standard. It lacks certain things like complexity and and you know.
But for a first shot, hey.
But I think it was really it's actually quite good. Yeah. Oh, we're brewers, guys. Let's just go into this. Let's just quit our jobs. Let's do this. What do you get to lose? Now you're an expert, and that would be a good story for you. Be like, I totally hated beer. I totally thought it was stupid, and I thought everyone was a frat boy.
I
And now
appreciated
the
beer
brewer.
by making a film about it. So should you.
Make a film about beer, but they have to find another subject. Have to go at it different. They can't
Yeah,
take
yeah,
anything
but you
time.
can't use our angle.
That's right. Talk to good people. There's some good people in here.
Yeah, Miss Amelia.
Do we want another toast?
You set?
Shall we toast again?